as opposed to patients. If you are barring patients who cannot wear a mask, that's a different situation entirely, and the ADA would definitely apply. I understood this to be limited to people who are coming, as I say, to be spectators. Under those conditions, they have other options available to them, which would be live streaming. And under those conditions, I don't believe it would be an ADA violation to simply say, go look at live streaming as opposed to coming into this facility. So under those conditions, I think we would be ADA one.
Madam Chair, this is Al.
Yes, Al, go ahead.
Mike, I have a question for you, because we ran into this situation at our own courthouse. People will come in and say, I have a medical exemption. Don't they have to provide written documentation of that exemption? They can't just say, my doctor says I don't have to do this.
Actually, your order doesn't say that. It doesn't require, in fact, I believe it specifically says exactly the opposite, enforce someone. And that was based probably on practicalities when the order was first put together. And keep in mind that that was also based upon Boise City ordinance, which had that language in it. Again, we're talking not about people who want to enter the facility for medical treatment, who are doing business, who would not be able to do business otherwise. We're talking about spectators who are coming and frankly trying to disrupt proceedings on occasion. Under those conditions, I believe you can require them to wear masks. And if they don't want to, they don't have to. They have other options, and that would be doing live streaming.
Any further thoughts from the board?
Madam Chair, this is Diana.
Yes, Diana, go ahead.
So we discussed this a few weeks ago when Russ had asked me about moving to the courthouse, and I'm in support of this are but I'm nervous for the staff, and frankly, you've got hired security who are doing the very best they can, but that is a challenging situation for them. And so I'm just wondering if the whole location sort of tenor of the situation continues to be a problem, or do you feel like this is enough, Russ?
Madam Chair, this is Russ.
Yes, Russ, go ahead.
I feel like this is a good place to start. What we had happen on Tuesday were individuals who would not wear a mask, would not physically distance, were in very close contact with our staff as well as the security team, putting them at great risk for the transmission of coronavirus. So I feel like we should give this a try to start. We do require physical distancing when in the room, but these individuals came into one of our lobby areas well ahead of the meeting. Again, as Mike alluded to, there was a clear intent just to disrupt the meeting. It was not intended to come and listen, and there was prolonged close contact with my team, which is of great concern. So as a starting point, I prefer to go down this path, and if we have another incident where Boise Police Department has to have officers on site, which was the case on Tuesday, then I think we can look at alternatives.
Madam Chair, this is Al.
Yes, go ahead, guys.
So Russ, could you explain to me the alternatives?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead, Russ.
A couple of alternatives would be that we've talked about is to hold it at a facility like the Ada County Courthouse, where they have protocols in place, very stepped up security. They do this day in, day out as far as managing crowds, requiring face coverings. And that would be obviously a convenient site for me, but I'm also more than willing to go to other county courthouses, for example, such as Elmore County, where they also have security in place and would have adequate space for us to have meetings. It could possibly rotate from different sites, but I would not want to move it to a place that's just as unsecure as this facility is. I would want to go to a site where they've been doing this for months.
Madam Chair, this is Ted Epperly.
Yes, Ted, go ahead.
I'm prepared to make a motion, if the group is willing to hear one.
Any further
Yes.
comments from the board?
Madam Chairman,
Yes, thank you, go ahead.
we have a mask mandate in place in Ada County. I have some serious concerns about going so far as to say that there is no medical exemptions, because that's essentially what we're talking about doing here. And I am concerned whether, it sounds like there's a lot of gray area with the Disabilities Act on this, and I have reservations about it. I think safety of staff is really important, and if we can maybe focus on a way to keep the contact between staff and visitors to a minimum, I think that's great. We could maybe focus on that direction, but I do have some concerns about the way this is, from what I understand, how it's been worded, and not allowing anybody any exemption and unless they're children under the age of 2. So that would be my concern.
Madam Chair, this is Daniel. Well, I think that's why I brought up the alternative locations, because I have continuing concerns. We have clinical services being provided at Central District Health that get disrupted, and staff and frankly a security team who are not prepared to handle these situations in the way that we would be at the Ada County Courthouse or at the Valley County Courthouse or the Elmore County Courthouse. So for me, if we don't do this, then we're going to need to look at alternate locations. And I don't care if it's here, wherever, but we need the Central District Health staff to be able to do their jobs without being threatened.
Madam Chair, this is Al.
Yes, Phil, go ahead.
We went through this similar discussion back in March when we secured our facility and required everyone coming into the building to wear their mask. And we had some people concerned about, well, how can I do this if I can't wear a mask? Well, we provided other venues where they can watch the meetings, they can call in on the phone. There's all types of other ways that people can attend the public hearing and still be a part of it. And it's worked great. I don't think anybody's challenged us on it. So we need to get ahead of this and secure our facility and make it safe for our health and our staff and the people coming in and out. It just makes good common sense to me.
Madam Chair, this is Ted.
Yes, Ted, go ahead.
I'm going to make one comment and then I'm going to make a motion. There are very, very few reasons for medical exemptions for masks. And the intent here by the people that attended on Tuesday was to disrupt. There are, as Mike Kane pointed out, multiple opportunities for people with medical conditions to listen to the live stream and to be a part of this. So as opposed to taking the more drastic step of moving location to the courthouse, I'd like to do this interim step by making the motion that we do ensure that all people that are entering the Central District Health Facility that are over the age of 2 are masked. I think that is the win-win right now. Let's try to protect the staff. We certainly want the attendance and participation of the public if they want to come, but they have to come with that understanding. If not, there's another option for them that they can watch by live stream. So that's the motion. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'll second that.
Good.
Any further discussion? Or I call for a vote by county? Okay, calling for a Valley County vote.
Commissioner Hasbrook, aye.
Elmore County,
Representative Blanksman, no.
Boise County,
Commissioner Sturm, aye.
Ada County.
Jane Young, aye.
Chad Epperly, aye.
Commissioner LaChando, aye.
Okay, thank you, folks. Motion does pass. Okay, moving on to action item number 3. We are asking for a vote to